Yeah. So they say socialism works until you run out of other people's money. There's, money is a limited resource. Like even government, they print willy nilly, but at least there's a little bit of breaks on, printing us into 50 trillion overnight versus just a trillion every 100 days. But this guy, everything sounds really good. Free healthcare, free schooling, free childcare, free buses, city-run grocery stores that don't gouge you. Like it all sounds like somebody running for high school class president. But when they run out of other people's money, or the people that do have money go, screw this. I'm moving to West Virginia. I'm moving to Florida. I'm moving to Georgia, Utah, Texas. Like they're going to run out of other people's money because at some point people go, you can't tax me into prosperity. I'm moving.
Yeah,
Right.
and hundreds of thousands of New Yorkers left New York City under COVID. And these were a lot of people who were well to do. And they took off. They went to Florida, as you said, and other places. And now I think Mamdani wants to tax the 1% of New Yorkers, the millionaires and billionaires. And there's like 345,000 millionaire, billionaire types in New York City. That's it. 345,000 of a population of like 8.5 million, because it went down after COVID. It used to be 9 million. Now it's 8.5. I'm one of those people that moved out, along with my son. So that's not a lot of people. Those people can leave for sure. They could, change their primary residence to somewhere else. It's not that hard to be a rich person and go literally anywhere else that you might want to go and visit New York whenever you want to go to the nightclubs, with Eric Adams, who's a nightclubs guy. So I think that Mamdani has a lot of things wrong. And I think it's also really important to note a couple of things. He went to very elite schools. He went to Bank Street, which is a very elite lower school in Manhattan. He went to Bronx Science, which is one of the top public schools in New York City. It's part of like the 5 elite schools of New York City. And now he also has talked about how the entrance exams that he used to get into Bronx Science are racist and maybe should be eliminated. He's discussed that. And then he went to Bowdoin in Maine, which is a liberal arts, school. He started Students for Justice Palestine at his liberal arts school in Maine. He said that he got into politics because he wanted to fight for the Palestinian cause. That's a foreign situation. That is not only a foreign situation, it is an ancient situation. We are not an ancient nation. What does the conflict in Palestine, Israel, Gaza, whatever terms you want to call it, what does the conflict in the Middle East really have to do with New York and Americans? When I was, doing my own version, when I was like partying in New York, whatever, and you'd go to nightclubs, there'd be a bunch of rich kids from Tel Aviv and Israel and a bunch of rich Palestinian kids, and they'd all be hanging out together. It wasn't a big issue. New York, New York City, the United States of America, that's where you go to become American and leave your ancient conflicts behind. We don't need that here. And that's why this man got into politics. He has wealthy parents. His dad is a professor of anti-colonialism at Columbia University. His mother is a, film producer and no, film director. She's like a Hollywood director. And this guy comes in there and says he's fighting for the working class. Most of the people who make below $50,000 a year in New York City, they voted for Andrew Cuomo in the primary. They didn't vote for this guy because they know that what needs to happen in New York City, and I say this all the time, it's quality of life. Is my trash getting picked up? Are my streets safe? Can I take the subway at night? Can I take my kids to the park? There was a huge difference when I was in New York City after Bloomberg was out of office, after his 3rd term. You had Bill de Blasio come in, and there was a huge shift just in the parks by my house in Brooklyn. I used to take my son to the parks all the time, and there were 2 parks, one nice one, and one that was just sort of like, oh, look, it's right next door. And the one that was right next door was suddenly filled with tents. It was like a homeless encampment. We like walked a block in the opposite way to go around it, when we had to go places. We started avoiding that park entirely. And that's the kind of thing you'll see under Mamdani. And the people, the working class people of New York City know that. This is a guy who wants to openly flout federal laws in terms of immigration. And yeah, like you were saying before, Trump is against this guy. And the other thing that I think is important to point out, not only does he come from an upper class situation and he wants to foist all this socialism down onto everybody else, But we now have a Democratic Party that is openly touting and boosting socialism. They used to be a little more quiet about it. They'd just talk about unions, they'd talk about labor. This guy came out there and said part of the end goal is to seize the means of production. That's Marxist Leninist. That's directly out of those playbooks.
Yeah.
What are the circumstances in which we now have a Democratic Party that is openly opposing democracy in favor of socialist principles?